Hey everyone, it's time for some more Monster Hunter, and today we are going to be raiding the Wyvern's Nest. We all know how this goes, it sucks, but we gotta do it. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Check the description below to become one of the Mad Lads. Also, subscribe! Well, I was trying to see if anybody wanted to join. It looks like everyone's either busy or on their own quest. So I am going to try to solo this.
Like a smart person.
So raiding the Wyvern's Nest is pretty simple. All we're really going to have to do is just go and get the egg. We just have to do it 3 times. And I forgot to empty my item pouch again! Come on! Alright, so I'm going to abandon the quest and empty my item pouch, and maybe we can try this again. Change of plans. Instead of raiding the Wyvern's Nest, we're actually going to do an Apsaros egg hunt. So it looks like we are going to need some cool drink. I'll wait just a little bit longer to see if we can get a party, because I really don't want to do this. But hey, if we got to, it is what it is, eh? I was a little concerned I'd have to do this alone, but thankfully, Rain has agreed to help us, although he doesn't seem very happy with the fact we're going to have to get some Apsaros eggs in the desert. I know the Forest and Hills is generally a bit more tolerable, namely because of the fact that you don't have to worry about cool drinks, but in addition to that, the Velociprey tend to be easier to dodge than the Genprey, in my experience at least. Now that we've emptied our inventories, what we should do is get a couple of basic supplies like rations, and obviously we have maxed out cool drinks, but just a couple of first aid meds and a couple of rations each should do us good. And of course, it's always nice to get the mini whetstone, because that little bit of sharpness could help. You never know. I'm not sure if a large monster is going to be on the map, but my guess is that it's either going to be a Cephadrome in Area 7 or a Plesioth in Area 5. Honestly, my money's on the Plesioth, because it seems to be the only thing that we're currently able to fight at this time, and is on the map, feasibly. Because Diablos, it is pretty late in the game, and a Monobolus just isn't going to happen, because that's a single-player-only hunt. As usual, we have our gang of Genprey here. It's probably not... it's probably pointless to try to thin them out right now, because these ones infinitely respawn, and my goodness, they have some range on them. Also, I'm not sure if it's just me, but it seems like they do a lot of damage somehow. Then again, I am wearing chainmail pants and a chainmail guard. Not guard, but fold. Alright, now that we have some of the Genprey taken care of, let's go over to Area 8, I believe. It's either Area 8 or Area 9. I think we need to go over to Area 9 in order to get the eggs, but I could be wrong. It looks like Rain is going to Area 8, so I'm going to trust his judgment and follow him there. What I do want to know is if the same rules apply in terms of the Genprey spawning and the multiplayer versus the single-player mission. If these Genprey can be dealt with and they don't respawn, then that'll definitely be useful for our runs. If I can get up, of course. It does seem like... oh my god, it's Diablos! Why is there a Diablos? So I'm probably going to die now, but let's try not to. A little bit of information about the Diablos. He likes to dig. There should be a smoke trail that follows him, and if smoke trail goes towards you, that is very bad. So, yeah, avoid the smoke trail, or dust trail, whatever, and preferably just avoid Diablos. What the fuck? Right then, so it looks like you won't have to be dealing with just the Genprey. Looks like we have to deal with a Diablos, and the Diablos is very difficult to deal with. They're actually not carnivores, funnily enough, those sharp teeth. So the sharp teeth are actually used for eating cacti, funnily enough. As usual, my community fails to tell me vital information about the large monsters in an area. But that's okay, because I am able to adapt to any situation, because I am good at the game, totally. I definitely haven't gotten by on luck and the help of experienced players so far. Although, weirdly enough, the Diablos isn't chasing after me, which I find to be pretty funny. Oh. What are they going after? Don't tell me the Genprey okay, no, the Genprey don't go after Diablos. Are the Genprey running away from Diablos? I don't know, but I know the Diablos is running after me. Oh, and I ran out of stamina. So, you gotta be careful. Don't be so focused on trying to avoid a monster that you run out of stamina, because that can force you to drop an egg. Best thing you can do is those little notches at the top under your stamina bar. You know, when you're not getting smacked around by Cephalos. 5 of those notches represent your red bar. As long as you stay above 5 of those notches on your stamina bar, then you will never have to worry about going into the red zone. Of course, it's a bit of a tall order to tell people to actually count those. I also think it is a little strange. I feel like my stamina's moved. Oh, right, I forgot. So whenever you're actually engaged with a large monster, your stamina depletes faster. So if you'll notice, whenever a large monster is targeted onto you, you actually do this weird, funky run where your guy kind of like throws his arms up and sprints like a weirdo. And the reason that happens is because I guess it's supposed to represent your guy being more panicked or something. And whenever you actually sprint around while you're engaged with a monster, you will generally use more stamina because, you know, obviously I guess it's supposed to represent your guy being panicked and not being able to, you know, just kind of casually run around and stuff. Now, of course, the Diablos is right behind me, so what I'm going to want to do here is try to skirt around this corner, and he should clip on the wall. Yep. Although the Genprey is going to be a problem. Oh, the Genprey are fighting the Diablos. Diablos, why? But yeah, needless to say, it's not a good idea to let yourself get stuck against the wall. Never try to get trapped against the wall, because that will generally end with you being killed. That Diablos is running straight for me. Run! So yeah, theoretically, we could kill the Diablos. Probably even get some Diablos armor, because eventually I do want to get Diablos armor. It has wind resistance, and that is very useful. But at the same time, no. At least not for now. I want to at least get a full set of, like, I guess not high-rank armor, but almost high-rank armor. Maybe a full set of, like, Plesioth armor or Rathalos armor, and then I'll try to kill the Diablos. Now that I think about it, I believe I have done a stream in the past where I have gotten this far. I really haven't gotten much farther than the 2-star quest in multiplayer. But I believe I have done a stream in the past where Diablos was chasing me down, and I actually managed to navigate around him. I'm not sure how, though. I did get surprised earlier, but that's just because my memory is terrible and I completely forgot there's Diablos here. Now that I think about it, I wonder if this is the first ever mission you really find a Diablos. It was certainly a surprise, I will tell you that. And if you've never seen a Diablos before, oh man, he can be quite scary. Quite scary when you first see him. We'll try to go with the same strategy as before. This little area right here, we can just run straight through it, and it'll take us straight to Area 2. After that, we just need to try to go for the arch back to camp. It looks like Rain does have an egg, and it does look like the Genprey in Area 7 do not respawn. However, most likely the Genprey in Area 2 do respawn. So we're just going to have to try to navigate around them and not get hit. And that arch right over there, that is going to be our target. So as you can see, since the Diablos is not engaged to us, we are using far less stamina than we were using before. Of course, we have been spotted by the Genprey, so we are going to need to avoid at least one of them for now. And that means we're going to need to put as much geometry between us and the environment as possible. Holy smokes, that was close. Oh no. So yeah, I know I don't like watching usually, but in this situation when it's only one, I don't mind just because all you really need to do is just hop on you and you're kind of screwed. So let's try to avoid that. The other Genprey over there, I'm not worried about them. Most likely we'll be like right at the end before we even have to consider them possibly hitting us. This Genprey though, they are quite good at sniping you. So let's try not to let that happen. Oh, and the Cephalots, so we don't have to worry about them, of course. They swim around pretty fast, and if their fin hits you, it is damage, so you will drop the egg. So, obviously, try not to get hit by the Cephalots. Thankfully, it looks like we did get saved by that weird AI bug. I have no idea what causes it, but I'm always grateful when it happens. I just know at some point, somebody got super locked in on trying to get their egg delivered, and they were at red stamina whenever they came through here, and they just dropped it right at the box. I can only imagine how that must feel. But I know for a fact it's happened at some point. Thankfully, we have one egg down, and it looks like Rain has the second one covered. So as soon as Rain delivers the second egg, we are good to go. Yeah, looks like we're good. So now we just need to get one more egg. Hopefully, the Diablos doesn't bother us again, but even if he does, the Diablos isn't super difficult to avoid. The biggest thing is he charges a lot. So as long as you maintain a healthy distance and you keep him in your sight so you can kite around him when he charges at you, then you shouldn't have too much to worry about. It really is just the amount of damage Diablos does that's like one of the biggest problems, because he does a lot of damage. Now, something you don't want to do is what I just did, and grab an egg before you've topped off your stamina. It's always a good idea to top it off before you continue, so definitely make sure you do that. Looks like Rain does kind of want to take it easy, and oh, never mind. I thought Rain was going to sit back and let me suffer alone over here. Thankfully, this area is pretty free. Same thing as usual applies. We're going to want to run straight over to Area 2 and then navigate around the Genprey and get back into camp. Now, I'm going to spoiler a little bit of the game. I know later on there's going to be a quest called, like, Four Horns. Not Four Horns. Yeah, Four Horns, I believe it is. And at some point, we're going to have to actually kill 2 Diablos. I think it's a single-player mission, though, so that's going to make it really insufferable, but Besides that, I know that just in terms of the egg delivery quests, there aren't too many more to do. There's probably like one or two more for the other missions we're going to have to do, but there's a really infamous one where you got to deliver something called Powder Stone. And basically the way the Powder Stone works is you pick it up, and I think... Now, I don't think it slowly damages you over time, but what I believe happens is that if you drop it, it explodes, and that will damage you. So that does make it pretty insufferable, especially with the fact there's a black... not a black Gravios, just a normal Gravios there. And of course, with Gravios doing as much damage as they do, that's a problem. Also, they're extremely large, and even though they move slow, they have a very, very large hitbox. So, unfortunately with Gravios, you do have to be mindful to not get hit by him, because he is a very large target, and he can hit you pretty easily. Okay. Yeah, so even if you have somebody killing all the Genprey in the area, you do have to be mindful of the Cephalos, because they do have spit attacks, and sometimes they will fly out of the sand straight at you. They're very good for jump scares. If you want a horror game in Monster Hunter, Cephalos in the desert at night is probably a good idea. So we're going to round this off with something pretty easy. We're going to slay the Gendrome. I think we need to kill 3 in this mission, if I'm remembering it correctly, but it should be pretty simple, pretty easy. Especially if other people join us. We don't really need it, but it looks like we have one more person joining us, and that is Carlos. Seems like Carlos has seen his fair share of action, generally whenever somebody unlocks the guild armor. I think it's the guild armor or something like that. That red suit's really fancy, but generally whenever someone unlocks that, it's because they've gotten pretty far into the game, if not have already beat the game. Funny little bit of lore I figured out about the guild hunters, I think they're called guild hunters, is that whenever they were introduced, I'm not really sure what the initial lore is when they were introduced, but the current lore for the guild hunters is that whenever you find a guild hunter, they really are of like the highest status in society, and they usually don't even fight monsters. Obviously, I'm sure you help out with monster hunts here and there, but generally guild hunters are sent out after like rogue hunters, because this is a world and a universe and it has all this story and blah blah blah. So yeah, obviously there are hunters who maybe have a grudge against a monster and just obsessively hunt it to the detriment of other people, and they have to be taken in and arrested. And there are some hunters who just kind of, I don't know, maybe they decide to kill people for some reason. And that's where the guild hunters come in. They are exclusively meant to track down and kill rogue hunters, which is a funny little bit of lore information. Now, I'm not exactly sure where the Iodrome normally spawns, but generally the areas that can be found are 4, 9, 10, 6, and 5. Well, maybe not Area 6, but there are a bunch of Genprey here, so who knows, maybe the Gendrome can spawn here. Oh, looks like they found him in Area 5, so let's go over there and take care of him, even though he's going over to Area 2. Great. Oh, no, he's not. He was just knocked back, I guess. Holy crap, there's a Rathian. Okay, cool. We're doing this. Let's get a Rathian. Now, I am unprepared for this fight. 1, because I didn't really bring enough healing, and 2, because I didn't bring any antidotes. And as you know, both Rathian and Iapre are very fond of poisoning you. So, if you go fight a Rathian and you don't have antidotes, you're not really smart, I guess. But, hey, I never said I was smart to begin with. Unfortunately, it looks like I didn't get here quite quick enough. Oh, no, yeah, I did. So there is the first body, and so we can just carve that real quick. I always do feel kind of bad whenever these people who are, like, super late in the game come and help me on the quest. It's like, oh, kill the Gendrome. Because, I mean, at least if I have at least one other person helping me out. Because whenever it comes to killing Gendrome or, you know, Genprey or stuff like that, it's nothing super hard. It's just that you sometimes have another hazard on the field, like a Rathian. So whenever somebody who's pretty later in the game comes along, I want to usually at least try to kill the stronger monster just to kind of make it worth their time, because maybe they can get a few thousand zini out of selling the parts. But if it's like an egg quest, yeah, I'm just, it's fine. Yeah, I don't really feel bad about getting help with egg quests, because the egg quests suck. Alright, looks like we got the Rathian done with. And, oh, good timing. There's the second Gendrome. So, of course, since it is just a drone monster, these guys aren't really a threat. Yeah, you can just stunlock them into oblivion and kill them pretty quickly. Also, if you do enough damage to them at once, you can actually launch them. So if you have a weapon like the Lao Shenlong Greatsword, you can infinitely launch them, and there's nothing they can do about it. That's 2 Gendrome down, just got 1 more to go. So based on where Carlos is going, I guess the Gendrome spawn over here in Area 8, which is actually something I didn't really know. Although it is pretty cold in here, so generally you'll want to bring a hot drink if you have any available. Also, I didn't realize, but I actually do have antidotes, so that's good to know. And there's the third one. Should be pretty simple. Carlos is going to stun lock him into a corner, and I'll try to help with that as much as I can. And just like that, all the Gendrum are dead. Now, I know whenever I was doing the Forests and Hills Raid the Wyvern's Nest for the multiplayer, I didn't really know if I did, because it did say it was clear. But I believe I have done it before, but not while recording. And the reason why is because I was obviously hunting Rathalos to get the gear. Alright, I'm going to call it here. Thank you everybody who joined me to help me out with these missions today. If you liked the video, leave a like on it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. And if you have any tips for me, leave them in the comments down below. Deccan, remember to drink water. Oh my god, I've been drinking nothing but green tea for the past 3 days! What the fuck?